judgment. According to Governor Oti, the court removed Julius Abure-led National Working Committee, allowing peace and unity within the party. Oti welcomed the ruling, validating the creation of a new caretaker committee led by Usman. But contrary to Abure's claims, the certified true copy of the judgment revealed his cross appeal was dismissed. Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, Lamidi Apapa is saying that he has assumed the position of national chairman following the Supreme Court judgment. Apapa declared this at a press conference in Abuja, adding that the leadership crisis is the reason why he's doing so. He said the crisis escalated since the Supreme Court judgment on April 4, nullifying the earlier verdict recognizing Julius Abure as national chair. Are fresh hurdles ahead for the Labour Party, or is this just the beginning of the end for their troubles? This is the Eastern Eye. I am Alex Obodo. To the Eastern Eye, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. Joining me tonight from Guinea-Bissau is Dr. Magjinja Ibeneme. He is the chairman, Labour Party, Uju River local government area of Enugu State. Thank you so much, Ezo Mokorobia, for joining me tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Good to see you again, Alex. It's been a while.
Hello, are you there, Dr. Ibeneme?
Yes, I'm here. Say good to see you again. It's been a while. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect. I mean, each time we have conversations about a crisis within the Labour Party, we're having a hard time wrapping our heads as to what's going on. So who is in charge in Labour Party as we speak? Before we even get into the program, Nenadi Usman is on one side. Julius Abure says, I'm the don here, I'm the boss. And Lamidi Apapa, the man you know that is capable of stepping up when there is a vacuum, is saying that he is the man, as the oldest serving deputy national chairman, that he is stepping up to bring stability to the party. Please, who is the chairman or the leader of the Labour Party as we speak?
Thank you. To start with, Abure is the chairman sacked by the Supreme Court. Lamidi Apapa is the APC Labour Party chairman. And Nenadi Usman is the acting chairman, according to the neck of the party. What you see playing out is the normal Nigerian political jigiri-pogiri, where the ruling party and other vested interests are doing everything possible to disorganize the opposition. You know, of course, based on the outcome of the last election, Labour Party is a party to beat, and the party that has become the thorn on the flesh of the ruling party. P2B beat Tinubu in the strongest stronghold, Lagos State, and they made a strong inroad into the southwestern Nigeria. Of you that we know that even with all the gimmicks that happened during that election, the outing was very surprising. So they are throwing everything in the works to make sure that they destabilize the party. The Supreme Court is clear in its ruling, according to the certified true copy of the judgment that we have seen. Lamidi Apapa was not a party to that suit. At no time in that suit did he join himself as a party. He cannot benefit from a suit that he was never party to. And the Supreme Court responded to a particular suit. He referenced a suit that was entered by Julius Abure and his co-travelers. And he responded by saying that, listen, you cannot do this. You must respect the party constitution. And this is what, in principle, what the Supreme Court is saying is that the term of Abure has elapsed. And of course, he was responding to the challenge Abure led against the Nenadi Usman led against the caretaker committee. It upheld the position of the caretaker committee, and every deciding Nigerian knows that every other person is pure politics. And we have transmitted the certified true copy to INEC, not like they don't have access to it, but just to fulfill our righteousness. The party leadership has also gone to INEC to lay down the certified true copy of the judgment to them. INEC has a legal department. naturally they will look through it, and we are expecting that INEC will do the right thing. So as we speak, the this man-led National Working Committee is the leadership of the party in acting capacity until we are able to hold a substantive national convention to elect a new national leadership. It's as simple as that.
Okay, perhaps if that is the case, let us take a look at the scenario. If your party indeed holds a convention, maybe in 6 months' time or any time you choose, how would you distribute the national offices? Because maybe somehow, maybe that should also be at the heart of the problem. Because initially, Julius Abure is from southern Nigeria. Peter Obi is also from southern Nigeria. There is this general belief that political parties shouldn't field a presidential candidate from the same zone that the chairman is hailing from. So I hope this will be at the back of the mind. Because already,
if that's the case,
already
Abure went into election with Peter Obi as a presidential candidate. He was still from southern Nigeria. The party will sit down. It is the job of the national, the acting National Working Committee is to hold a stakeholders meeting and tackle the issues of zoning. The Labour Party does not exist in isolation. We are going into a next election, a next general election that involves every part of Nigeria. As we speak, it is believed that it is still the turn of the southern Nigeria to produce the next president. And the two positions are exclusive, and every party has its own, ideology and the internal workings. These are the issues. These are the issues that the party will look at when they go into, stakeholders meeting. There was a town hall yesterday, and things are beginning to take shape. There will be other meetings where the party will decide the best leg forward, and we believe that the right thing will be done.
So, with the ousting of Julius Abure, how does that affect the leadership structures across the states, as it were?
Yes, naturally, it's across board. I was just bantering with my colleague, the chairman of Labour Party from Udi. I was telling him that with the latest development, all of us need to step down. A caretaker committee should be appointed across board. The party can decide to retain all of us in acting capacity until the Congress is held to select new leadership. So sit tight syndrome is a battle in politics. We have done our bit. We went to the last election, and in my own calculation, we were successful. There's nothing wrong in stepping aside for some others. We need to inject new blood. We have made enemies from last elections. We need to bring in new people. We have soldiers, people who work with us. A lot of people who were not even members of Labour Party, they are now interested in joining the Labour Party, like the obedient movement. A few of us who have been politicians were able to, register as political party card bearers. Right now, we need to do a total overhaul. Obedient movement has a structure down the line. The NUC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the TUC, they have structures down the line. These things, according to the party constitution, should be considered in raising up a new structure to man the affairs of the party. We have time if we start now to put our house in order. But Abure and his co-travelers are hell-bent in scuttling the movement. But, the Supreme Court has the final say in Nigerian jurisprudence, and we believe that in a few days, we are waiting for INEC pronouncement. As soon as that is done, the needful will be done. It is not a problem in any way.
Okay, it's not a problem. I like the way you are saying all this. So, but let's get back to Abuja, because it looks like that's where there's a problem. So, who is occupying the party's national secretariat, as to speak?
Well, a national secretariat is a building, and the party can decide to, relocate to another site. Abure and his colleagues, they want a physical altercation. And of course, our leader, Mr. Peter Obi, is not cut out for all that. If you cannot obey the court, they will have no business with you. We are waiting for INEC to make pronouncements. Then we will invite the police to do the needful. And peradventure, we will decide to move from that headquarters to another place. Who says we cannot? This ruling from the court is just a couple of days old. First of all, the natural reaction is denial. Eventually, Abure and his colleagues will reconcile with the current situation. There is a new captain on the ship, and naturally, everything should be handled. I'm expecting him as a gentleman, as a Labour person, to understand that the pronouncement of the court, trumps all sentiment. The Supreme Court is very clear. He needs to consult his lawyers, just like we are consulting other legal entities, including INEC. As soon as INEC gives us their reaction, if the INEC comes, recognizes the position of the Supreme Court in a matter of days now, we will now only use every lawful means to, retrieve the party headquarters from usurpers.
Okay, so the party seemed to be, because in the beginning you broke everything down. You described Lamidi Apapa as the APC Labour Party chairman. Help us put that in perspective, because he still says he's a member of the Labour Party. Is he a national vice chairman in your party?
You are in the media, and it's expected that you do your homework. The issue of Apapa has been
because hearing from a Labour Party
the issue of Apapa was resolved before the last election by the courts. There is no Apapa in this whole equation anymore. That particular issue, you went all the way through the legal whatever. The Apapa issue was settled. This is just a drama that is meant to distract the core issues. There is no Apapa in this equation. The question here is between Nada the Usman and the Julius Abure, who has the court ruled as the current party chairman. There is no Apapa in this whole equation. Yeah. So Apapa is just doing this drama where he's done. I mean, the issue of Apapa and his own whatever has been concluded long ago in the courts, and that's why we have not heard about Apapa. That's why he did not even seek to be a party to the suit, because that would be abuse of court process, because his matter was completely dealt with before now.
Yeah, I mean, it was heartwarming to see Senator Okeaza flanking the likes of Governor Oti and other people who were there. It's not something we see all the time. We also saw Kenneth Okonkwo there at the INEC headquarters to submit the certified true copy. Is it an indication that the Labour Party is rebounding? Because some time ago, Kenneth Okonkwo said he was leaving the party, but now he's still seen with the likes of Peter Obi and Dr. Alex Oti.
Kenneth Okonkwo was clear. He said he cannot be in a Labour Party that is chaired by Abure, who was a usurper. He was very, very, very clear about that. I mean, his position was not ambiguous. He was not satisfied with the development within the party. And naturally, the court made a statement, and I mean, his loyalty has never been in doubt. He has supported Peter Obi from the word go. He was clear that he cannot be a party he cannot be under a Labour Party led by Julius Abure, illegally led by Julius Abure. He was very clear. So now that issue is being resolved, Kenneth Okonkwo is coming back to his roots.
All right, so let's look at the National Assembly members who are from your party, and especially those from the southeast. You have quite a chunk of them. Quite a chunk of them come from Enugu State. Are they really closing ranks with the Labour Party?
The members of the National Assembly never left the Labour Party. The Abure saga threw everybody, even myself. You have not heard from me in a while. We all went underground. We all hibernated. We are waiting to see, where the black snake would appear with its head. So, just like you mentioned, Okeaza never left. So, the leadership of Labour Party in Enugu State, except for the guys in the House of Assembly, and a few guys in the National Assembly, very few, maybe one or two in the National Assembly, who began to seek for, a political future, because they were not sure that their interest in Labour Party was protected. And that's the fallout from Abure saga, So the Okeaza had never shifted ground. Okeaza has remained with Labour Party. He has continued to lead from the front. I mean, even when we started having crisis in the state, that is, a fallout of the Abure saga, Okeaza, his position has always been very clear. So he has never dilly-dallied or anything. So just like some others in the National Assembly, our senators and all that, it was Abure that caused all this confusion. Our people only hibernated because the matter was in court. They were waiting for a day like this. And now that the court has made their final pronouncement, I mean, the chicken is coming home to roost.
Okay, bringing it home now to Enugu State. The Labour Party in Enugu State had someone they were looking at who was identified as the leader of the opposition, as it were. And that's talking about Chijioke Edoga, who's now back with the PDP. Was that a surprise for you?
Well, Chijioke Edoga is a gentleman. He was the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party. Of course, he came into the Labour Party from the PDP. And just like we have been saying here now, the party he joined, Labour Party, became immersed in crisis. From Abure to Kashmir to, So, and he's a politician. I mean, Chijioke Edoga is a politician, he's a professional politician. Naturally, he began to, after waiting, and he didn't seem like, the matter was being resolved as quickly as he would have wished. Naturally, he began to seek for a political future. So, personally, I have no grudges against him. I do not begrudge him. He took a decision based on his own personal, interest, and we wish him luck. He was the gubernatorial candidate. We have a leader in the Labour Party in Enugu State, and that leader remains a rallying point. The core pillars of the Labour Party in Enugu State have remained. There has never been at any point in time where they moved their base. So Chijioke Edoga is back in PDP. Not only him, a good number of guys have begun to, retrace their origins because of the confusion in the Labour Party. But of course, in PDP, there are also lingering crises. We don't know where anybody will end up yet. Election is a few years away. There will still be a lot of other intrigues. With time, the water will find its level. So Chijioke Edoga, it didn't come to me as a shock. Even at that point in time, a lot of us began to query our loyalty to a party where the national leadership has refused to do the right thing. So patience is individualized. People who could not wait till this moment, they moved on. There will be people who will come back. There will be people who will begin to, who will stay where they have moved to. There will be people who will still move from where they have moved to. I mean, this is Nigeria. The ideology is very fluid. But like I said, I do not begrudge Chijioke Edoga. It was not his fault. Every fault lies squarely with Abure, who refused to do the right thing as a leader of the party.
So typically, you think that some people left early, and then this judgment came a little too late for some people who waited for this to be resolved, but really couldn't wait as long as the judgment now came. But staying with Enugu State, what do you think will be the chances of a Labour Party in Enugu State if an election is held today?
The truth is that it's not going to be a flash in the pan, because the PDP governor of Enugu State, by a lot of metrics, is doing well. I regret to accept this. I regret to acknowledge this as a politician. But the truth is that the current governor of Enugu State, by a lot of metrics, you can say that he has done a great job. In fact, if Enugu State had had this kind of leadership over the years, we would have gone further than where we are now. So you must give kudos to whom kudos is meant for. Governor Peter Mbah, he has done a lot to improve the infrastructure of Enugu State. And the people of Enugu State, irrespective of political party, they appreciate the job he has been doing. But of course, PDP has their own crisis. You don't know if Peter Mbah will end up in Labour Party. We don't know where anybody. It's still a lot of time. So I don't agree with you that it's a little too late for some people. It's not too late. I mean, it's not a secret society. There is no final nail on the coffin. That you move to PDP today does not mean you can move back to Labour Party tomorrow. And of course, we don't, the alliance that is being mooted, we don't know where it's going to be headed to. There's a lot of time. The only thing is that right now the Labour Party has ridded itself of the garbage of Abure. That is the most important thing. So all of us are in opposition, both the PDP and the Labour Party. We have all the time to discuss and decide the way forward. We may run a partnership, we may run a collaboration, we may run an alliance, and we may collapse into a single political party. We are looking up to the leadership of the Labour Party to show us the way forward. So Enugu State, if PDP still remains as a political party, because PDP has even worse problems than Labour Party at the moment, with the gimmicks of Wike and his co-travelers. However, we don't know if PDP is going to run against the Labour Party in Enugu State. At least at the governorship level, it's not going to be an easy race. And it is behoving on the party to choose the best candidate that can challenge, Mr. Peter Mba in Enugu State. Like I said, he has done a fairly good job. It's meant for him to sort out the issue of insecurity and the water. But for the water, we see that he's making a lot of efforts. This security thing is a major dent in his leadership. Otherwise, he's doing a great job. We acknowledge that, and it's for us to choose the best candidates to, challenge him in the coming election.
All right, so let me take you back to Abuja. And for some people who are watching this program, who might not know the reason why Abure is embattled, kindly help us put it in perspective. Why did Abure end up at the Supreme Court?
Abure's tenure has ended. The party asked him to step aside. The party created an acting National Executive Council that will lead the party into a national congress or national convention to elect a substantive National Executive Council. And Abure went and organized a kangaroo convention in Nnewi where he, retained himself as the party national chairman. That is why when the party chose the National Caretaker Committee, he went to court because INEC recognized the National Caretaker Committee. He went to court to challenge it. That is why we are in court today. So the problem is Abure refusing to leave office where his tenure has elapsed. That is simply the problem.
So when you say his tenure has elapsed, is it the first term or the second term? I mean, what's the tenure assigned to by your constitution for a party chairman? Is it 5 years in the first instance or 4 years?
But the problem of duration, Abure has never contested that his tenure has not elapsed. That is not the issue here. Abure, that's why he had the Nnewi convention where he renewed his tenure. You understand? So the contention here is not whether his tenure has elapsed or not. The contention here is whether Abure has the right to renew his own tenure. The National Executive Council said that just like the BOT said that Abure cannot do that. The NLC, which is a major stakeholder in the party, said we do not accept this. So what he did was parochial. He organized people who were loyal to him, and then he nominated himself as the chairman of Labour Party, renewing his own tenure. We said no. There are other dynamics. Currently, it is the turn of the South to produce a presidential candidate, and naturally, going by the Nigerian political dynamics, we expect that the next national chairman of Labour Party will come from the North. So, and Abure would not have any of it, and he decided to do the Sani Abacha, political gimmick, and here we are today.
All right. So, at the end of the day, how do you think all these troubles since the 2023 election has affected the galvanization of the party, preparatory for an election that is touted as very, very, very strategic, the 2027 election? Some people are thinking that the Labour Party may have lost some ground because of the leadership brow they are having.
P2B has continued to wax strong among Nigerians. The Labour Party was fueled by the immediate movement, not necessarily the party. Why are we insisting on Labour Party? Because Nigeria is a party democracy. You must run an election under an umbrella of a political party, and the Labour Party happens to be that umbrella. The obedient movement has not reduced its ranks. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who contested for election in the last election were not even originally parts of the Labour Party. They joined to contest that election because of Mr. P2B, and now the obedient movement are moving to join the Labour Party because of coming election. So P2B has not lost his team. He's still moving around, doing what makes him P2B. He's still Mr. P2B and the Nigerians have not changed in their support for P2B. Right now, it's a new dawn, and we are about to reorganize and restructure everything. Obedient movement is intact, and that is the most important structure in this struggle. So Labour Party has not, if Labour Party as a party has lost steam, the obedient movement has not lost steam. All we need is to dust our shoes and continue in the journey ahead of us.
So you are saying that by 2027 that your party will be in a good stead. And on what basis are you saying that? Because you just have one governor, Dr. Alex Otti. Does that place you at an advantage, knowing that the man P2B ran against in that election is now the president? How tall an order is that to displace the incumbent in 2027?
The accomplishment we made in the last election, we didn't have a governor, we didn't have a councillor, we had nobody, but we did all that. Now we are saying we have a governor and we have National Assembly members, and we have also tested, the Nigerians have also tested the current leadership, the people that forced themselves upon Nigerians. So the next election is even easier than the last election. Tinubu was not tested. A lot of people who didn't know Tinubu, who didn't quite know his capacity as a president, they now know. You know, so it's not a problem for us. Like I said, the obedient movement, the structure is still intact. That thing we achieved in the last election, nothing says that we cannot achieve it in this particular election. So there is no setback whatsoever. The setback, the Supreme Court has been able to deal with it on our behalf, and we are about to, you know, go into a new phase of the struggle.
So what's the plan, really? What would the Labour Party do differently this time regarding how it will prosecute this election, other than depending on the wave, the obedient wave? Are we going to have another kind of wave, or are we going to see another kind of wave from the Labour Party?
Nigerians are even more concerned and more conscious than ever right now. We have experienced the last 2 years of this regime. So it's not even about the obedient wave. There are front runners in every election. And P2B and the sitting president are the foremost runners in the coming election. And, you know, Nigerians can now, they have tested the order. They can no longer say they don't know about Mr. Tinubu, what he can do or what he cannot do. We can see the economy now. More so, we can now, with the Supreme Court ruling on the arboreal distraction, we can now focus on the, you know, on the real opposition politicking. Like the National Assembly, the Labour Party members, we expect that the leadership of the party can now sit down with them and articulate a way forward on their roles in the National Assembly. So it's actually a new opportunity. It has been a learning curve for all of us. We have tested the waters. Just like a lot of the members who were of the National Assembly who were greenhorns, they have also gained some experiences. And now that we have taken back the control of the party, there will be leadership. Mr. P2B's political ideology will be at the front burner. Nigerians are yearning for a real opposition, and it is time for us to provide that opposition. So yes, it's going to be a new push in the lives of Nigerians. We are seeing Northerners online complaining about insecurity, complaining about lopsided appointment, complaining about lack of infrastructure. Even Southwesterners, they are complaining bitterly. Look at what is going on in River State. The South-Southerners are not happy. Look at what is happening with the women folk. The Latasha Akpoti, imbroglio with the leadership of the Senate. The Nigerians can have seen APC for what it's worth. Buhari has been there, and now Tinubu. Nigerians are universally saying that it is time to test a new crop of leaders. And P2B has remained in the consciousness of all Nigerians because from his time in Anambra State, throughout his campaign as a presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and even post-elections as a leader of the opposition. So it's a united Nigeria that's going to fight the establishment to enthrone P2B as the next president of Nigeria.
Yeah, talking about united Nigeria, there's been talks about an alliance between your party and some other parties. It's been dismissed in the past. But do you think that this could be something that your party will consider? Because it looks like the playing field is too large. They would probably need an alliance to dislodge the incumbent.
I mean, it's politics. And consensus and alliance building is part of politics. Why wouldn't my party? At least we have a party now. Before now, we didn't have a party. It's difficult to begin to discuss an alliance where you are not even in control of the party. Just like what happened with ABGA during the last alliance that produced APC. You know, it was only the governor of the then Imo State that joined the alliance that founded APC from APGA. But this time around, Labour Party is now existing as a single entity. It is easy to negotiate any alliances or collaboration at whatever level. We are waiting on the leadership of the party to decide the best way forward for us. Peter Obi has said that he is not interested in any alliance that is only meant to grab power. He is interested in any alliance that is meant for the progress of Nigeria and the improvement of the lives of people of Nigeria.
But why does it look like it's only P2B that is making the move? We haven't seen much from Labour Party as a party, because clearly P2B is a different entity. We hear once in a while, really, from Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, and I'm not quite sure we hear a lot from the Labour Party itself, because these are two different entities.
How many people from the PDP are you hearing from?
Yeah,
if not Atiku.
You hear from their.
You hear from the people.
You hear from.
Do you mean Wike? They're hearing from Wike in APC, PDP, or who?
So I'm saying you hear from the publicity secretary. I'm sure you know him. You hear. From
but the Labour Party, even in PDP, there are factional publicity secretaries. There are two factions of the PDP. There are issues in the PDP. In Labour Party, have you not been hearing from Nana de Usman? I mean, you've been hearing from me. Am I not the chieftain of the Labour Party? A lot of us are speaking. It's just that the P2B's voice is loud because of the personality of P2P, who is he is the main architect, the driver of this ship, the leader of Nigerian current opposition, and the brain behind the way for change in Nigeria currently. So naturally, his voice is loudest. But some of us, is full soldiers, we are speaking. And if we were not speaking loud enough, you will not be inviting us to, talk in your platform.
I mean, you have a point there, but at the end of the day, national outlook is different. When you look at the party at the national level, what has been prevalent is the issue of the tussle. But I mean, there's been a bit of clarity. You are explaining it, but those who are going to court from your party are not also offering the same explanation you are offering. Because you talk to someone now from Aburi's camp, he still may have some grandstanding. But how long do you think you wait for INEC to give you that clarity you seek after the submission of the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment?
Of course, we don't expect to wait for long. INEC is a proactive organization. They have a very boisterous legal department. As a matter of fact, between now and next week, we expect to hear, from INEC. And Nigerians have not given up on the issue. All over the internet, people are seeking for clarity, and we expect that in no distant time, INEC will come up with their position.
And if they indeed come up with that position, so we're going to see that Labour Party of your dreams, isn't it?
We are going to see obedient movement of our dream.
All right, that would be a good place to leave it. I'm sure you're a very busy person. Thank you so much, Dr. McGinger Ibeneme, for joining me tonight all the way from Guinea-Bissau. Dr. McGinger Ibeneme is the chairman of the Labour Party in Ojo River local government area of Enugu State. He's telling me now that he will probably have to relinquish that position, except he's asked to continue in an acting capacity following what will come out of what INEC decides to say. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Thank you, my brother.
And that's the Eastern Eye for tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Obodo. Good night.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of doing